Hey guys, welcome to episode number 15. Dazza and G are back finally.
We're back.
Just quickly, Dazza, I think we're just going to cover this year because of our jobs. Just the Premier League games.
Yeah, I think that'd be easier. I wanted to do the Champions League one, but yeah, Premier League games would be, just because it's really hard to tie down the time sometimes. But you'll run a business. I'll have a job.
we will definitely cover the Premier League, and whenever we can, the Champions League for sure.
What we can do is the following Premier League game, we can touch on the Champions League game or something as like a double up episode maybe or something. But I think moving forward, even like FA Cup and League Cup games as well, which, because otherwise we're going to trying to fit in a podcast every 3 days, and with our busy schedules, with our children and God knows what other, commitments we have to do as parents and busy people. I think moving forward, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. What did you think of that's a good idea. So before we get to Tottenham and Liverpool, what did you think of the Napoli game?
Yeah, like really good. I mean, definitely a huge change. That was Napoli's first defeat all season in all competitions too. Mm-hmm. I mean, probably that I'm just trying to and again, talking about that, I'm trying to touch on my memory now. I mean, Núñez was probably unlucky not to score a couple, just the same as again on the weekend. He just probably needs to be a little bit more clinical with some of his finishing, if I'm being honest, but I know that might come with time. Salah was like that when he started too. He wasn't as clinical as he was now. He missed some sitters, but hopefully that comes good. But I mean, stoked to have 2-0 win. Shame we didn't go top of the group, but that was going to be a bit of an ask with the goal difference. Even though we won 7-1 at Rangers, we still, the goal difference, just losing that game 4-1 at the beginning of Napoli really hurt us. But I mean, still got through to the next stage, and we had more points in the Champions League before the weekend in 6 games than we did in the Premier League. That's insane. I know that people we had Rangers in a group, and Ajax and Napoli was probably really the only quality. I mean, but Ajax, not the Dutch Eredivisie is not exactly Premier League standard in my eyes. I mean, it could be biasness. I mean, but it's still professional football. No. It's still a big league, you know what I mean? But so back on the Napoli game, I mean, I probably, my memory's been a bit poor on that, so maybe you can, if you start talking about it, maybe you might jog my memory a little bit on that. I just, I know that we scored 2 goals really late, and I know that Napoli got 1 disallowed, which was a very close call, which definitely would have changed the tides of the game. So,
no, I mean, looking back, I feel like, just quickly on Napoli, I just felt like we had a bit more composure in the game. I felt like we had a bit more intensity than. I think we definitely feel like we're playing better in the Champions League. Mm-hmm. And even there was an argument that we could have rested more players for that game because the result was more or less over. But then there's prize money. And I think both teams wanted to win. I think they wanted to keep the top spot because obviously you play second in another group. We're going to probably face Bayern Munich or something.
Yeah.
In February, I think it's back on. So I thought we're definitely playing better. Like you said about the points, is pretty funny. And also I would say that the performances, I mean, more or less in the Champions League, I found that the composure's been better, the decision-making's been better, positioning's been better. I even thought young Calvin Ramsey coming on.
Yeah.
He looked sharp. He looks fit. He looks strong, and he's only a young kid, mate.
He looks really good, doesn't he? Yeah, big time. I'd have to agree with that. Yeah,
I could see his talent, and I think this kid's definitely got it. And it took about 30 seconds, and you could just see. I'm like, who's that kid? Like, just moving the ball around with so much confidence, and you got a kid that young with that confidence, he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, and I think I can't remember which game it was. But he came in for a little bit in a game earlier in the season, and when he came on, I was quite impressed with just that. Again, it's that confidence he has on the ball for such a young age, and in big crowds and in the Premier League, he really takes it on. The confidence. You'd swear blind he'd be full blown backup. You know what I mean? But he's only a young kid, so. I think, he's got a lot to show, and I think he's going to push for those spots on the flank as well. So, Our boys better watch themselves. So, I mean, Trent and Robbo probably need to watch themselves a bit, but
100%.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, performance has been better. I haven't really been happy with Fabinho.
Yeah,
and
he's
I
a
thought
shadow of
actually
he's playing terrible at the moment.
he is, and
Fabinho.
I thought against Napoli, I thought Canate had a worldie of a game.
Yeah, and even in the game which we will get to soon against Tottenham, he's just he had another great game. Like
another great game. So anyway, we'll go over to Tottenham 2-1. First 15 minutes, Darren. I think we clearly. You know what? I'll let you. Because I'm going to go off on a tangent and a rant.
Obviously, it was a slightly different formation with a diamond midfield, and obviously with the wing backs running up the flank. Which again, I seen that and I thought, hey, that's. I think from the beginning of the season when Salah had a slow start, he was on the far. I don't think Salah suits that in the way we play. He doesn't. He's too alone. He doesn't get enough ball, and when he does get the ball, he's got 4 or 5 players around him pushing that corner. And since Salah's been playing more of a central role, he's breaking free and he's scoring goals, again. And having Salah and Nunez as, the pair up front worked really well against Tottenham because of the runs that they make in behind the back line. And you've seen Darwin Nunez do that quite a lot, and he does that really well. Nunez's runs, I mean, people talk about, I don't think he's had a slow start. He's got to adapt, and he's still scored 5 goals out of so many games. He's doing really, don't get me wrong, he's missed some chances that he probably should have buried. I mean, he had a couple of one-on-ones in Leeds. The Leeds game was probably a game we should have won with all the chances that we had. But yeah, I was, and having Bobby at the tip of that diamond was, again, really good because he plays well, just sit behind the strikers. So I thought the formation was actually kind of like something that I'd set up on FIFA. You know what I mean? I was like, that's 2 main strikers running down the middle, and Salah, and they're both pacey strikers, and they're both making runs behind the back, behind the line, and it worked out really well. And then we had them pushed, we had them pegged back, and they couldn't cope with the runs from Nunez and Salah.
Not in the first 15 minutes.
Not in the first 15 minutes. Like the first half, it was like a different team. The second half, Tottenham came out on top in that second half, big time. We were on the ropes there for ages.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought Thiago had a bit of an off game at times. He lost the ball in the middle of the park, gave the ball away, which is kind of unlike him. He's been but. Fabinho, I thought Canate was probably one of the best players on the pitch today. He just, he's just such a strong man on the ball, isn't he? He's just a beast at that back. He's a solid player.
And the aggressiveness to get to win the ball for us.
Like you said, that part where he's wrestling with Kane, and I think they were trying to call for a penalty on it or not, but it was just, it was just pure strength because Kane's not exactly as soft on the ball. He's very he's one of those strikers that's strong, and then he was muscling with Canate, and that was good to see. I love seeing that. A mad shoulder to shoulder, and then you had that penalty shout with Trent. I mean, I guess it's hard when something like that happens when the night before João Cancelo gets a red card for something it was very similar challenge. I mean, so it's a bit hard. I don't know if João Cancelo's one was a penalty either, but I think it was because he was clear on goal. It was the City penalty. He was clear at Fulham when Fulham scored. He was clear on goal, and Cancelo got him in the back with the shoulder, whereas it looked as if the Tottenham player, the ball was going away from goal. And it would have been a very softer challenge than what Cancelo. But yeah, that's probably that part from the first half. We had the pressure on him, and it was good to see us put the team to the sword. And just to touch on that, I feel like Liverpool play better when we're playing against a team who wants to have a go. You know what I mean? I find that and that's why we're winning against your Cities and your Tottenhams at the moment, is because they're very good in attack, but we're really, really good at catching the opposition out on the counter attack. Now, when we play against lower teams, like when we play away to Nottingham Forest, when they're putting every man behind the ball and trying to scrape out a draw or a 1-0 like they did, I feel like we struggle to break teams down like that at the moment, which has been the biggest problem. But yeah, on to you, Andy. I mean, that was my but that's my thoughts about how it why I said not going to be surprised if we beat Tottenham, because when it comes to the bigger teams lately, we're going well because we play unreal against teams that want to attack us.
And normally I would agree with you. I thought Leeds came out like this is probably where I'm going to disagree with you, because I thought against Leeds, I thought they actually came out to want to play, and I think they end up winning. Maybe Nottingham Forest not so much. I just thought against Leeds, for me, Darren, the losses or the draws against Fulham, Palace, Forest, Leeds, especially Brighton, to me. Brighton wanted to win their game. Brighton came out of guns blazing, and we just scraped a 3-3 draw. For me, I think it's a mindset complacency factor. Either they're mentally tired, they're just not up for it. I think it's more of I definitely think that has rung true for Liverpool for years, where we just didn't turn up for the teams that just set everyone behind the ball. I think this season it's been a mixture of physical and mental tiredness. Complacency, poor decision making, which I think I honestly think this game against Tottenham put under the microscope all of our problems. Complacency, terrible defending at times, terrible passing, not winning the second balls, allowing teams to dominate for large parts of the game. Conceding stupid goals that we shouldn't be conceding. I mean, the goal with Kane. I mean, whatever. Liverpool that won the season, they won the Premier League that season, doesn't concede the goals that we've conceded this season. Probably 100%.
100% agree. And and like I said, you're right. It's been complacency, mental, and all of the above. We've got players in the team at the moment, like your Van Dijk hasn't been in form. Or don't get me wrong, last couple of weeks he's been solid, but he's been out of form.
The midfield's tired, mate. Like
Fabinho out of form. Thiago, when he plays, when he's not injured, like he's been injured for a couple of times. Like he had an ear infection or a freaking, a toenail come off or something. I don't know. And then so there's a bit of inconsistency there. You can't. There's the talks about Trent, but his position is extremely tactical, and we've explained this before on the podcast on many occasions. And Klopp even came out recently in the press and must have listened to our podcast, Andrew, because he said that it's not so much he listened; it's just that we watch the games week in, week out, and we know what he's trying to. We know what Trent's position is, and he knows that by him staying up and attacking more, he knows we're going to be left vulnerable at the back. So it's like we play with three backs. And Trent's more of like a winger anyway, and if he can track back in certain situations, but sometimes he has to be he's told not to run back at times, Trent. But in saying that, I do think at times Trent's defending has been questionable. But at the end of the day, I still would have him on there over. I still believe he's for his position, for what he does, he's still. I mean, his ball's into the box. He's passing. Like when he gets it on point, he's still you wouldn't take him out for that reason. You just
You're a much bigger defender of him. The thing is, I love the guy, and I don't feel like he can't. I think when people say he can't defend 1-on-1, they don't know he's actually not that bad. I find that it's his positioning, and probably his positioning, really. That's probably
there has been multiple times where
I've seen him one-on-one. I've seen him one-on-one win the ball back plenty of times as a defender. Mm-hmm. Where I feel like it's when the teams like Arsenal, when they came and they wanted to overload their left flank, he was exposed every time. Now, yes, I know it's obviously if he's out of position, we get hit on the counter attack. That's not Trent's fault. I'm talking about the times when we are pressed back like we were against Tottenham.
Yeah,
and he's in position, and there's plays moving in and around him, and he's not aware of it.
And that, like,
That's what I'm.
do you think he's always been like that?
No, I
That's
was
what I
just
mean.
thinking
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
No,
I don't think
I
he
was.
has. It's only been the last it's been or say for argument's sake, at the beginning of the season, he's been like that.
It's like you read my mind, dude, because I've been thinking about this. It's like, what was he doing? Like, I actually was watching clips before, like when we won the Premier League. Well, how was he defending? Like, what were we doing differently? And look, it could be two things. One, I think he's someone that I feel like he's feeling the heat and the pressure, and one of the players that is inconsistent, probably due to fatigue or whatever that is.
He's under the microscope at the moment.
He's under the microscope, and I think teams are obviously targeting him.
And exactly, and that comes down to the
and Henderson and Fabinho aren't saving him as
correct.
No one's protecting him. And those zones
exactly. It's
when
like
he pushes forward, he's not protecting. No one's protecting those zones.
It's like any good football team. Each player has a role in the cogs in a machine. Where one cog doesn't work, it fucks. Excuse me. It can stuff up the whole mechanics of it, right? Yeah. So, because look again, I believe Trent's defending this year hasn't been that good. I mean, I'll still come to his defense because he was, last year and the year before and even the year before that, he was arguably the best right back in the world.
Yeah.
Now, but yeah, like you said, you hit the nail right on the head. He probably used to relying on the cover he used to get from the midfielders coming across and covering the zones and jocking him into pressure until Trent could get back. Now they're not on form, or now Fabinho's not in form because I feel like he can't win a ball to save his life. Sometimes he doesn't look like the player last year.
I think he's saving himself for the World Cup.
Yeah, possibly. He just seems to yard
playing the way he is. What's to say he would make the Brazilian squad anyway?
Exactly. I mean, it's a fine line between any international player at the moment. Do you play your heart out and risk injury? But if you don't play your heart out and get noticed, you're not going to get picked up for the World Cup squad either. So, I mean, it's
look for me, Darren. That game against Tottenham, like I said, I read in one of the comments that this might be the game that kicks off our season. Like I hope so, but I doubt it. Right? Because for me, it was a game that for me completely magnified our problems and magnified the season so far. We're playing well at times and just losing composure. Like we've always had, I think the way we play this high pressing, even if you examine when we were really dominating and successful, we would have patches in the game where teams would just take the 10 minutes from us, where the amount of intensity that we're playing, you could almost not just accept it, but you could almost appreciate it that, hey, look, man, they've been running themselves into the ground that we just got. There's moments and parts of the game where we just got to like step back and like, so okay, what have you got? Like, come at me. It's like a boxing match where sometimes it shifts when you've just been punched at the guy so much that you just start going defensively, just trying to get some rest and take on the hits. But I feel like this has been like large parts of the game, and I feel like we're not passing well, and we're not. And I think our off the ball and our defensive game and our control. I mean, really. I mean, I know Tottenham are fourth or whatever they are, but I don't know. It just doesn't. There's times where we were lucky that they didn't score. They hit the post like 4 or 5 times. Lucky they did. Like I felt like, look, I think we deserved it.
But we were lucky in the end.
But we were very lucky we didn't walk away with a draw that game. If I was a Tottenham fan, I would have felt hard done by. But if I was a Manchester City fan, when we beat them 1-0, I felt like we completely deserved that. We had those patches where, of course, it's Manchester City as well, right? But you felt like you walked away. That was a victory. We won that. We earned it. We played
100%. Yeah.
Tottenham just felt lucky, and it felt like the problems that we've gotten we're just lucky today. Yesterday, whatever it was, we got away with it.
Yeah, and we did, and because there's been so many times where we do play like that, and we lose 2-1 against Leeds in the final minute of the game.
Forest,
but yeah, I mean, we had our chances in the Leeds game to put that be, we should have, I know we lost 2-1 and I know we had our problems, but we should have won that game with the amount of chances that we had clear on goal. I know Nunes missed a couple of sitters, which was just frustrating. But, I think he'll start becoming a bit more clinical. Maybe not now. You'll still score. I mean, like I said earlier in the episode, I think because when Salah first came to us, he was nowhere near as clinical as he was.
No,
I mean he's nowhere. Yeah, he's nowhere. He was still scoring goals, but he's sometimes he's 1-on-1s with the keeper, just But now he seems to.
and when, dude, you should have heard me when Kane tackled Allison. Oh man, if I had more hair on top of my head, I would have lost that as well. Like I was thinking, mate, how do you? I nearly died.
I know.
That was a moment in the game.
Yeah,
that's that falling asleep. That's that. Like they stop they just stop thinking. Their brain falls out.
But he does. Allison has a tendency of doing that sometimes. I hate any goalkeeper that does that.
They stay on the ball too long.
Yes, no, just don't. I hate that. If I was the coach and I see my goalkeeper do that, I'll be grilling them. I don't care. It's not your job to look flash with the ball in your hands. Pull off the saves and move the ball from the box.
Yeah.
Don't. I can't cop that when a goalkeepers do that. It really gets me. I'm like, no. This is that's not your job.
No. I thought some of the positives in the game. I thought young Harvey had a good game.
Yeah, he's been great this season. He's been he's for such a young kid to come in and playing in a team that's performing like terribly at the moment. He stepped up, and for a kid at only 19, good on him. And I can only see, I hope he becomes a Liverpool legend. You know what I mean? So hope he stays.
Yeah. I think he especially the first 20 minutes. I mean, I thought that boy ran all game really. And again, I mean, he takes him off for Henderson. Anyway, I know we had to save the game, and that's why he kept Fabinho on.
Yeah,
but to me, Fabinho's
you need some fresh legs in, to try and hold it back. Keep the 3 points. So, but yeah. Anyway,
I thought he played well. Darren, do you think there's any conspiracy with why Keita's not playing? He's injured again. Yeah, I don't. He probably fell over something at his house or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he wants.
He's going to
go
again
in January. He's going.
For sure.
I don't think he wants to play for Liverpool anymore. I mean, who knows? Again, it's conspiracies. It's all just the thoughts and opinions. I think.
It's pretty bad though.
I think a lot of it's got to do. Yeah, I think the press is coming out saying, or like Liverpool are going to the press saying he's injured, but I think there's some breakdowns in there, and they're keeping it quiet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean,
Klopp just looks like he's aged about 10 years this season.
Yeah, I think we've aged 10 years watching Liverpool this season.
Yeah, but have a look at him.
I'm actually only 18 years old before this podcast. Now,
dude, you've looked 18 for a while, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
No worries, man. You've only got facial hair a few years ago, so
yeah, I did. Yeah, I know. I could only grow a beard at the age of 28, so I'm happy. Yeah, now I can grow one. Yeah, you grow a beard. I think when I met you when we were 10, you had a full beard. Yep.
Yeah. Now you look like a man, buddy. It's good.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. You had more facial hair than my father when I was 10.
I was born with a razor blade in my hand, buddy.
I swear, I say this. I remember you come to school clean shaven. Okay, not 10. I'd say 14, 15, right? I swear to God, by that afternoon, by the time we went home, you had that 5 o'clock shadow peeking through. Yeah.
Mate, I'm just an animal, brother.
It's funny. Yeah, I couldn't shave. Like I said, I didn't shave properly till I was like 28 or something. So that's all right. Yeah.
It's funny because it's true, man.
It is, but it is. That's the thing. I couldn't for a long time. Like, had little bits of bum fluff I had to shave off because it was embarrassing. But Oh, about you. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we all had our insecurities as children, Andrew. Okay, I couldn't grow a beard. You could. It's funny how that works.
What do you do, mate?
We both wanted what we both didn't have.
I would pay money not to shave ever again, man. Like,
well, you
I
can
mean, if I could,
just grow a beard, you'll be right.
if I could do laser surgery or like laser on my face to stop the hair growing. Anyway, where's this podcast going?
You'd probably look like someone who's trying to transition.
Okay. Yeah, well, I wouldn't want that.
Anyway, enough of that. This is a football podcast, people.
I wish I could take the hair here and just like dump it on my head. But anyway,
of course. Yeah.
I would pay money to do that. Yeah. So next game is Derby in a cup game. And then after that, we play Southampton. So what do you think there's 20% of our supporters, which is about 2, have demanded that we do cover some of the World Cup games, right? So maybe, but we can talk about that after. Us to have a think about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think
What do you think we're going to do in January?
Touch on the World Cup. Good call, because this has been circulated in the media quite a lot recently, and I'm seeing different articles, and that FSG and Klopp have. FSG back Klopp 100%. There's no problems there. And obviously Klopp's voiced some concerns with FSG over their lack of spending as well, surely. And I think that's been happening. So, I mean, I don't think the meat, but I think in a lesser sense. So I definitely think, I think maybe probably more hope than think. I mean, I'm probably information biasness right now, only reading articles that suggest that we're going to go spend a bit. There's not a shadow of a doubt that we will drag someone in January in that midfield. Who it is? Yes, Arthur Mello. Woohoo! The dude Bellingham talk refuses to move away. Is FSG going to open the checkbook?
No, and not in January.
Not in January?
Not that. Do you know how much money it will cost to bring in Jude Bellingham in January?
Yeah, a lot.
FSG are not going to do it, mate.
Will they open up their checkbook considering we've had a shocking start? Are they going to worry about spending too much with the risk of us not even getting Champions League next year as well? That's going to be questions being asked.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to sign the players now while we're in the Champions League?
100%. But like you said, it's going to cost us more. So we're in a catch-22 right now.
We are 10 times more likely to win the Champions League than the Premier League. So for me, I mean, we're probably be more likely to win the Champions League at this point than getting into the top 4.
Yeah,
because I do believe we'll get into the top 4, and I do believe that we have every possible chance of winning the Champions League, because I haven't really. I mean, I just think we do well with his home and away fixtures in the last 16. We do well with the Anfield crowd. We do well with the 12th man.
Yeah, correct.
Under the lights at Anfield.
100%. And I mean, this just reminds me of the season we had, not last season, the season before, where we had a really horrible start with injuries and all that, and we managed to get third that season. So hopefully we can replicate that season again. And we'll have hopefully a hell of a lot of players coming back. We don't have a hell of a lot. Do we have, obviously got Van Dijk in the World Cup.
Put all of our money. Just put all of our money. Don't worry about signing any attackers. Don't worry about signing any defenders. Don't sign any. Just a centre midfielder. Just that one centre midfielder. I'll take it. World class. Just
world class centre mid. Who would you like? Who would you like? Okay, let's not talk about FSG. Let's not talk about the owners and the money and whatnot. Who would you like to see come?
I think I like. There was a guy at Napoli that Ngasa looked Nguisa. I know he's a bit defensive. That's the problem, but he looked really awesome. I mean, obviously, I don't know. It's hard. I mean, obviously, you would bring in a Bellingham, wouldn't you, if you could, right?
Yeah.
Because someone to go forward, someone to create stuff. I mean, if I could get Bellingham and then get Nguisa, I think that's someone that I would.
Would you be worried about Bellingham, him turning out like Jadon Sancho? Because remember, Jadon Sancho before he hits United is meant to be like the best gun. Oh, he's great. He leaves the German league and comes to the Premier League, and he's just been an absolute flop since day one.
Yeah, but the thing is, 100% that's possible, right? But I mean, Klopp. If Sancho went to
Yeah.
Liverpool, he'll be better because under
Yeah.
Klopp, he would have been better.
Correct. Yeah.
If Jude Bellingham goes to Man United, most likely he's
Yeah.
not gonna work out. He comes to play under Klopp, he'll play better. Klopp is just he'll bring it out of him. I think we can I mean, for me, I would sign someone. I tell you who I would sign. The profile. I don't know who that is, but the profile type would be a Wijnaldum.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Solid
That's the
in the middle.
profile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone that can do a bit of both, but is
Correct.
very good at going forward as well and supporting the front. So, I mean, we're going to get Luis Diaz back, which is going to feel like a transfer all over again.
100%. Yeah.
We just got to keep Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain because we've got no choice. But we can sell Keita and we can probably then get rid of him, palm him off, and then obviously the end of this season, Milner's gone, Chamberlain will go, and then we can then start to try to rebuild that midfield. Because Henderson's got maybe 2 seasons as well. Thiago's got probably 1 or 2 more seasons. Fabinho's got probably 1 or 2. You've got 3 of our main midfielders pretty much aging at the same rate and probably going to end up going out of the club at the same rate. I mean, and we just, I mean,
we're not. Yeah, right now we need. We need now.
We're in rebuilding phase of that entire midfield, Darren.
Correct. Yeah, we are. We shouldn't be. With the success that we've had over the past, say for argument's sake, call it 4 or 5 years, right? We've won a Premier League, we've won a Champions League, we've made it to another Champions League final. Why are we in a rebuilding phase? we shouldn't be.
No,
we should not be in a rebuilding phase.
The World Club, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup,
the
Premier League. We won every competition that's worth winning.
Yeah, and we're going into a rebuilding phase.
And we're going into a rebuilding.
We shouldn't be. Yeah, 100%. We should not be.
Who do you think? I mean, I would have that in Guesa. I mean, I really liked him.
Yeah.
I thought he's a good sort of Milner-esque player. I thought he's one of these utility players. So apparently he's got a $50 million. He's actually online. I think with the option to buy £50 million from Fulham. I don't know if that. I'm just seeing that in the. I just think his quality, and also Napoli had that Polish guy up. I thought he was, but he's more of a attacking player. But for me, man, that profile type I'm going for is a Wijnaldum in January.
Yeah, we need someone. Definitely need someone who can grab the ball and create something. It's just as much as being that linchpin in there that's going to break down their attack as well. So, yeah, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Like, again, I don't know enough about Jude Bellingham to suggest that we should go out and get him. I don't. I really don't. I mean, I've seen he popped up in the media maybe 6 months, 12 months ago saying he's only 20 years old. He plays for Tottenham. And I'm like, oh, yeah, But I don't know. I mean, I don't know who we're going to get. And again, it's just I just like to see. I just like to see Klopp get someone that he really wants. Who just I mean, again, we're not like Liverpool's not. We're not. Even if we spend 100 million, 200 million on a couple of midfielders at the moment, we're still not going to get into that top percentage of teams that are spending. Like City and United and even Nottingham Forest spend more than that. You know what I mean? So,
but I think we need to start. I don't think we're ever going to. I don't think we need to spend as much as Chelsea.
No, we don't. No, exactly. We don't. And back to the FSG chat when I was talking about. You asked me a question a while ago about how would you want the owners to change. I said yes. And look,
the one that
call me hypocritical. I'm wearing me Boston's Red Sox singlet. It doesn't mean it's just. But I can't fault them the way they've run business and what they've done. But again, it's come down. A lot of the success has come down to Klopp, not FSG. Right? Correct. So, but I can't fault them on how, and they can say that we, like you said, we got Klopp, so it was our, But yeah, no, I don't think, So they were lucky to get Klopp. But yeah, if it's look, I still stand by what I say. I mean, even though we're going right, we're going with the Champions League, and we just beat Tottenham and all that. And again, I'm not trying to say that there's like someone's going, well, is there a better owner out there? I don't know. Probably, maybe not. Maybe like you said, who knows? Maybe the money comes from the Middle East or whatnot, And you, like you said, with the whole, human rights problems that they've got over there at the moment, would you want them to be a part like not so much? Would you want an owner like that in the club? But yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know if there is many owners out there that could buy the club and spend that much money, but I don't know.
Well, the thing is, we need to spend more. So what's happening is the bar in order to invest to get to where we need to go is increasing anyway. Do we need to be on Manchester City and Chelsea and United? No, but the point is we need to be spending more than what we are.
Yeah.
Right? So that's there's no. I don't even think that it's even controversial anymore, right?
No way. Exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, the midfield, how they left the midfield in the state that it was for this season is absolutely criminal. And I mean,
it is. It's a huge mistake from the club.
It's not just a mistake. It's a blunder. It's a massive blunder.
You're right. It's a massive blunder because this, like you said, if we're going through a rebuilding phase, this is the next 2 or 3 seasons.
I mean, if they knew about it, which I do think they did, and they didn't do anything about it, that's horrible. If they didn't know about it and they didn't do anything, that's even worse. Because is that because Michael Edwards has left? Is that because their director of football is no longer there? I mean, I don't know. To me, him leaving I didn't have a good feeling about it. He was the one that would sign the Mane, sign the Wijnaldum, sign the players to get these deals over the line. Once Klopp identified who he wanted, get him over the line. I think that's a big problem, Darren. I think our ability to sign players is not as good as it was when he was there.
Where did he go? He went to...
I'm looking at his LinkedIn profile, which I don't know how accurate that is, but apparently he's self-employed now. So I thought
he went to...
He was there was talks that he was going to United.
That's right. I heard that. That's what I thought. I thought he went to United. Yeah, there was talks of him going there. Yeah.
But apparently his LinkedIn says he's on a break, which I might try to connect with Michael Edwards and ask him.
Yeah. Hey, Mick, just a quick question, mate. Just want to see how you been going. What are you doing? What have you been up to? Got any job offers at Manchester United? You need to mention.
Hey Mick, you want to come on our podcast and talk about it? Talk about. Yeah, look, man, I think that's a problem too. But I think our ability to sign players is not as good, which means it's going to cost us more money, which FSG don't want to do. So, but if we don't sign someone in January, I mean, I think I'll have to go back to what I said earlier and give myself a 3-game break because I can't.
So come the 31st of January, when the transfer window closes and no one,
I won't watch any games in February. You'll be doing this on your own. I'll be too angry.
You're giving yourself a 3-match ban.
I have 3 podcast sesh banned. I just can't do it. I've got nothing to say, Darren.
It'll be good content. Get on. Good content. Fire up.
I'll get back.
Get people whinging about you need to be positive.
I don't think the positive chants are still as active as they were when we got beat. When we lost to Leeds and Forest, I think the positivity chant sort of started dying down a little bit.
Yeah, because they were like, "Oh, be positive." Oh, I'm not positive anymore.
I think you said it, man. I think I am being positive. I want chat.
Yeah, we've all been positive. We're just like, again, people just taking some of the messages the wrong way, like because
the Lemmings were the Liverpool Lemmings would be like, we just take up or drink all the Liverpool Kool-Aid and like whatever comes out in the Liverpool FC Instagram, then that's gospel. But no, I think I'm going to. I mean, like you said, we've won all these tournaments. Like it'd be a different story if we've been like what we were in 2015 when Klopp came in, but we haven't been, and we've been largely successful, and it's pissed off so many fans that we didn't reinvest when we won all those tournaments, like you said. I mean, that's a common sentiment. Felt among all of these.
In saying that, we've had some, but we've had a lot of people that agree with what we've said as well.
100%, yeah.
And actually, probably more so. Actually, more people agree with us than there's a lot of there's a couple of other pages that I follow. I think the Anfield Rap is another really good one, and they said the same things we said. And I think there's a guy that does like a breakdown of the game, and I'm just like, yeah, he's this guy. Whoever does the Anfield Rap is spot on. Some of the stuff that they say is really good. They say they're like us. They say it for what it is. They give me. We love Liverpool just as much as anyone in the club. But you've got to pick for things from the way they are. You can't be, you can't bury your head in the sand and cross your fingers and be positive thinking mindset, which is great, but it's a foundation, not a resolution.
100%, mate. And what's your score predictions for Southampton? Well, we've got Derby, but
so we've got Derby. That'll be an interesting game. I can imagine a lot of youngsters running out there. I'd like to see, like Ramsey get on there. I'd like to see a bit of a mix. If I'm being perfectly honest, I want Liverpool to win all the time, but I don't really. A League Cup run again with the injury crisis that we have, or crisis with injuries and the lack of, possible lack of spending in January. Derby, I can see us winning, like 2-0 against Derby or something, and then so to going into Southampton, it's at Anfield. I like to say at home we're going to a hands down victory, which unfortunately against Leeds it wasn't. Against Southampton, we will win. It'll be. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win.
I'm going 2-1.
Yep.
Yeah,
very good.
And if we play like we did against Forest or Leeds, there'll be another loss.
Yeah.
Every game's a final. Thanks a lot, guys. We're on to the 41-minute mark.
Very good. We better wrap it up.
And thanks for joining me, guys. Let us know your match reaction and your score predictions for Tottenham and your predictions for Southampton.
Yep.
In the comment section below. Like and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And if I remember, the links will be in the description below.